The Meeples and Miniatures podcast is sponsored by Two Fat Lardies, Geek Nation Tours, and the generous donations of you, the listener. Thank you to everybody for your continued support. The Meeples and Miniatures podcast, episode 206. Salute 2017, with hosts Neil Shuck and Dave Luff. Hello and welcome to another episode of the Meeples and Miniatures podcast. My name's Neil Shuck, and on today's show we are giving you a flavour of the Salute Wargames show that was held on the 22nd of April 2017. Salute is the largest wargaming show, dedicated wargaming show in the UK. It's probably the second biggest show in the UK for tabletop gaming, next to the UK Games Expo. But it's certainly the biggest dedicated wargaming show in the UK. It's held at the Excel Centre in London's Docklands, and it's a big one-day event. Hundreds of traders, plus demo games, participation games, all sorts of stuff going on. We spent the day wandering around, chatting to loads of people, and hopefully what we're going to bring you is a flavour of what we saw on the day. We hope you really enjoy it.
The eagles have gone. Britain lies defenceless in a cruel world. Since the birth of our Lord, it has been 456 years. What sins have we committed to bring this punishment to Britain? I speak, of course, of the Saxons. They came as allies, but now they seek conquest. The lands of the Britons lie ravaged before them. Blood runs red in our island. We need a leader to stand against them. We need a man to bring together the Britons in common cause. We seek a Dux Britanniarum.
Right, that's enough of that. Dux Britanniarum from Two Fat Lardies. They really are very good.
Morning one and all. Here we are
With
Mr. Luff at Salute.
shaking, scared, got a sweat on.
You got a shopping list.
I might spend some money.
This is. I'm in shock.
What does a decorator write on his shopping list? Or in fact, what does he write his shopping list on?
Yeah, you've guessed it. It's on a piece of wallpaper, isn't it?
Yeah, back of a piece of wallpaper.
Yeah.
It was to hand at the time.
As you do. Yeah.
As you do. And I thought, well, I best put it down just in case I forget. But
Yeah.
the first time I've spent anything at Salute in 3 years.
Yeah. So you're prepared for open wallet surgery today, then?
I am. I've got my money. I've got cash in my wallet, so I have actually come intended. There's no impulse buying here on credit cards.
Really?
Cash in the wallet, ready to go.
Oh, that's a
Yeah.
bit scary.
Yeah. Cheers.
Right. Okay. So about the same size as last year.
It seems very sparse at the moment, but maybe it's because not everyone's in. But there seems to be a lot of room to walk around this year.
Which that's not necessarily a bad thing. But
It's not a bad thing. I just wonder if there's not quite so many stalls or not quite so many display games. I don't know. Or maybe, I don't know. Maybe it's bigger than I remember it.
Anyway, so the plan is, as per usual, we will be wandering around, grabbing interviews with people where we can. So stay tuned, and we'll bring you a load of interviews during the day. Here we are with Will Townsend, our old friend from Plastic Soldier Company. Well, sorry, less of the old, I suppose.
Yeah, easy, Tiger. I'm feeling old.
Yeah, I tell you, you're looking a little bit dressed down from the last time we spoke. I mean,
Casual. We're always casual at the Plastic Soldier Company. We like that. Casual friendliness.
well, was it last time? It was Wing Commander's uniform, wasn't
Oh
it?
God, yes, you're right. Yes. Oh no, it's a very much a mufti day today.
How's it going?
As usual, very very busy. Building those board game side of the business. Plastic kits are rolling along. Diving off into moderns. We've got our 15mm T55 kit, which will be next month. It's very very nearly finished tooling.
Yeah.
The usual PSC. We've got quite a few options on there.
Yeah.
The pre-sales and pre-orders are looking very good. And I must admit, I had my arm bent by our sales guy Tim, who's a Team Yankee player.
Yeah.
And I'm not really a modern player. And I do fall into that trap of, it's my company, I'm going to build what I like. So I like World War II, I like desert. Funnily enough, lots of desert stuff. But Tim is like, no, come on. Commercially, T55s are going to do very well. Everyone wants them. So after a lot of nagging, and it's like, oh, for God's sake, shut the man up. Yes, all right, we'll do a T55, only as a little bit of a sort of a test.
Yeah.
If it goes well, we'll think about doing some more plastic. So he's already stated in leopards and God knows what else. So the signs are the T55 is going to do well. So there will be some modern stuff rolling out.
Cool.
And we are looking at a Battlegroup Cold War at some point as well.
Yeah.
We've got some guys working on that. So that may well sort of theme and chime and fit in with that as well. Mm-hmm. But at the moment it's lots of plastic desert sandiness.
Yes.
Sandy loveliness.
It's taking you long enough. I mean,
I know.
The ambition
I know.
when you started the company was to do Western Desert, wasn't it?
Well, yes. You see, the thing is, it's like it's a sort of kid with his plate of peas, fish fingers, and chips. And I wanted to leave the fish fingers and chips, or the fish fingers, so that was the best bit, till last.
Yeah.
So, and then a certain other person starts to do desert. So it's like, oh no, I better get up there and catch up, and do all that desert stuff that I've been planning and saving and savouring till later. So yeah, there's a bit of a theme at the moment.
Mm. Yeah. So obviously, what was it? Last month we saw the 8 rads come out. I mean,
Yep.
Yeah, and then Universal Carriers just come out.
Yes,
They're free me some money.
They've arrived today, released today.
First time in 3 years I've been to Sloot and spent some money.
Yeah, just to do major surgery on Mr. Luff's wallet.
Yeah.
Yes, we actually think now we should close that shop and go home. Our day is complete. We price some money out of it. But carriers with all options. So that's spanning desert and northwest Europe. It's got wasps in it.
It's a huge kit, isn't it? I mean,
you know us. We like to shove everything in there as we can.
In the Universal Carriers.
Yes.
Lots of variant, lots of choice.
Oh yes, we tried to get everything in there, and then the idea, of course, now is that we've got all the conversion bits. So the 20mm 1/72 version will be coming out. Sooner rather than later. It's all done.
So you're redoing the 20mm carrier because you did it a while. You did a 20mm carrier.
We've got the carrier, and that still sells very well. But that's just sort of a base kit, a base sprue, base carrier, and then we're going to probably do like we did with the 251Ds. We'll have a 25. What will be a universal carrier variants kit? So there'll be probably 4 of our carrier sprues in there, and then a conversion sprue to make a wasp, a mortar, an AOP, blah 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 blah. Yeah, might even have to do 5 or 6 because we've got so many options on that one spree.
Yeah.
So that's going to slot in very quickly somewhere around the Valentine time, whether I do it before or after the Valentines. So Honey Stewart's nearly finished.
Yeah.
So we've got the T55s next month. Honey Stewart's again, it won't take long to do. And we've also got on that, we've got M3, we've got 3 turret options. Not the same amount of options as the other Stewart kit, but enough to do all the early stuff, enough to get those desert honeys out.
Yeah.
And then, as I say, then it's either going to slip in the 20mm Universal Carrier Options variants kit, either before or just after the Valentines. But the Valentines, again, we've got a bit of a head start because we've got the A9 chassis.
Yes.
So they won't take long, but we're going to have every Valentine on there and an Archer option, of course.
Yes.
So
that'll please you. A bit late, is that?
Well, I've got a resin one. Could always get a plastic one, can't I?
You're going to put Bishop on it?
Well, if I can.
Yeah.
That way, but that'll be what gets missed off if it gets too monstrous.
Although I say, having said that, actually, stupidly enough, when you look at a Bishop to it, that's actually quite a big piece of kit to put on the spree.
It is quite chunky. It's very boxy and chunky. It takes a lot of room on the spree. So we'll see. So I say over the summer and winter, there's going to be a lot of rolling out of Desert Loveliness, but we're going to feed in some more Northwest Europe stuff. We're going to reprint Overlord, Battlegroup Overlord, but we're going to split that into 2 because it was a monstrous book first off.
It was a bit.
So
it was a bit of a monster.
It was a big one.
I think it was actually bigger than Battlegroup Kursk and didn't have any rules in it.
Yeah, exactly. So we'll split that into Beyond the Beaches and D-Day Beaches, but we'll do Beyond the Beaches first because normally it's what everyone likes and wants and all of that. You can buy it as a PDF, but we're all old school. We like paper.
Yeah.
And then of course today we've released Tobruk, which is, and go and have a chat with Piers and Warwick and see our demo table. So who's happy? Me.
I was going to say, Desert War, finally, long time in coming.
Very, very happy about that.
5 years, 6 years, something like that, is it?
Again, saving the off-fish fingers till last, which I wish I hadn't done now, but anyway, coming up.
Okay, so what else? You mentioned Valentine's. Can you tease us with anything else that's coming in the pipeline?
Yeah. We were having a bit of a session yesterday before Salute, trying to plan out sort of the second half of the year. We're to be confirmed, but a bit of a scoop. Looks like the next new book, will be Battlegroup Market Garden. For autumn. We were trying to decide, which is a lovely way. The kind of meetings I like. What should we do? Come on, boys! I want 2 plastic kits to go with Arnhem, with Market Garden.
Yeah.
And I can say that one of them.
Of course, because your Paris came out last year.
Yeah, in 15mm, but. I'm not saying no more. But I will say a bit of a tease for you, a bit of a scoop for you, Mr. Shuck. We're going to do an all singing, all dancing Jeep plastic kit in 15mm and 20mm. And you're going to have absolutely everything on it. All sorts of crews, Brit Paracrews, US Airborne.
Chalk me up for a box.
You name it, it'll be on there. And trailers and bits and ambulance and and Northwest Europe, LRDG, anything, any Jeep related whatever nonsense will be on there. It'll be one kit. Will fit everything. Yeah.
Oh, cool. So again, like a Jeep version of a Universal Carrier kit.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
But I'll save number 2 kit for later. Come and see me in the summer at Bovey or something, and I'll tease you with that one.
I'll catch you in a few weeks at the Games Expo.
Oh, of course you will. Yes.
I suppose we can save all your board gaming goodness to be.
Shall we do that? Yes, because I got some interesting stuff bubbling along there as well.
Yeah. I noticed over the year, all of a sudden it was like, oh yes, we're backing this and we're backing that, and it was like, yes, you've been dabbling in lots of pies, haven't you?
Yes, and we've got many more pies on the conveyor belt.
Excellent.
A little behind on my schedule, I say, because at the end of last year we had so many Kickstarters coming together. It all got a little bit of a perfect storm. So I'm trying to be a little bit more measured this year in our Kickstarter. Yeah. We've got a Kickstarter starting soon for a Martin Wallace game.
Ooh, Martin Wallace.
Lincoln. A new American Civil War game. Play it in 1.5 to 2 hours. Area movement, card driven, no dice. Deck destruction, not deck building.
Oh, right.
It's a cracking game, is all I can say. It's I've played it many times. Union player has to do all the running. The Johnny Reb has to hold him up, and if you can hold him up long enough, then he'll win rather than the Union player. It's a very balanced game. it's a Martin Wallace. It's one of his betters. It's new. It's a great little game. So that's coming out.
Great. And I have to ask, where are we on Battle of Britain?
Battle of Britain, yes, my baby. It taken, as we all know, and as I've said to people, it's taken a little longer than I wanted in terms of getting it all together and printing it. It's in China, being produced as we speak.
Was that down to things like the sheer amount of aircraft that you unlocked? Yes. Again,
hoist on my own petard. I wanted all those aircraft. And when it came to it, it took a little longer to finish off things like the Gloucester Gladiator, but it's worth it. The little Gloucester Gladiator.
So I was going to say, of all the complicated kits, probably the Gladiator is probably going to be one of the worst, isn't it?
It is, but being the biplane basically. But it's just one of those things that there were many rounds of final tweaks on the graphic design and we were trying to make the game system. There was. It went on probably a bit too long in terms of tweaking it, and a game is never finished, but you've got to draw a line and say, right, that's polished enough, that's play tested enough, that's how we're doing it. But I think it will be worth the wait. So it's being manufactured at the moment, depending on how long it's going to take coming from Shanghai. We're looking at June, July to release. Kickstarter guys will get theirs first before it goes on general. To be honest, I doubt we will have it on general release at Games Expo.
Oh wow!
But we'll see how fast they can finish it off and get it on a boat. And I do want the Kickstarter guys to get theirs first.
Yeah. Cool. Well, it's been great to catch you.
Yeah, indeed, always. Yeah.
Yes. Exciting stuff. I looked at all your. Your rate rads are very nice.
Oh, they're a cracking kit.
Yeah, one of my favourite World War II vehicles.
Yes, me too. Yeah, me too.
Lovely stuff. So, wish you all the best of the show.
Thank you, sir.
Have a good day.
Yeah, cheers, and you.
I'll catch up with you soon.
Yeah, nice one. Cheers, Neil. Thanks. Bye.
So, always a good show for bumping into people just as you're wandering around. And Dave Marshall from TMTerrain. Morning, mate. How you doing?
Very well, yeah. You?
Yeah, not too bad at all. So, are you just here wandering around today, or have you got something on display, or?
There's nothing here in my stuff as far as I know today. I'm just here as a club guy. We're playing Animal Farm. Some of the guys.
Animal Farm?
Yeah, as we do.
Yeah.
So they've done all the terrain, and I think one of them got a pig with a gun, and it just expanded from that.
So
now we have
more equal than others.
Don't quote me on about the book. I'm just here to roll a few dice. So don't go.
Neil will be the first one to complain if some animals are getting more dice than others.
It's based on War Machine, I think we do. The
right, okay.
So yeah. But that's all I can tell you. Yeah. But so that's great. No pressure. I'm just wandering around, spending far too much money.
As per usual.
Yeah. So, but it's good. I love it.
So how's it been? You alright?
Very busy. Yeah. It doesn't stop. It's great. Yeah. Got loads on. 54mm, 28, all sorts of scales. So brilliant.
So at the moment, are you doing just a lot of custom stuff?
It's all custom stuff. I never do anything. I don't have I'm not organised enough to do a catalogue. So it's all custom stuff.
Yeah.
I don't have to think about what might sell or not. People come to me and say I want this, and I make it, and that's it.
Right, cool. And just as a preemptive, we're going to be speaking to you on the show in a couple of months, aren't we?
That's right. Yes. Yes. After my son gets married, we're just back from Malta.
Yeah. So obviously we're going to be talking all about custom building terrain. So really looking forward to that. I mean, as I say, we've been meaning to have this conversation for more years than we care to remember.
Well, almost every show that you're always mentioning terrain. It's like, you need one. You need a terrain show.
Oh, definitely.
So
definitely. So looking forward to speaking to you then.
Yeah, I am as well.
So a preempt to anybody who's listening. You got any questions? Send them in, and we'll save them up for the show.
Yeah, I have no secrets. So whatever you want to know.
Brilliant stuff. Right, okay. So, what you bought today then? What are you collecting at the moment?
I bought a U-boat from Empress.
What is it with people and submarines at the moment?
It'll work in crooked dice.
Yeah.
World War II.
Yeah.
World Domination. All sorts of games, won't it?
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Put some cogs on it and it'll be steampunk.
We had the same excuse for Hobbsy, didn't we?
We did. Yeah.
We could use it for loads of things.
Yeah, it's
Absolutely,
like,
yeah.
if nothing else, everybody needs a 28mm U-boat. Yeah.
You do. Test of honour?
Yes.
Yeah.
You're going to paint it yellow?
What, U-boat?
Yellow?
Yeah.
Oh, the U-boat?
Yeah.
Sorry, I thought it was samurai.
No. Well, you can paint samurai yellow if you want.
Yeah. No, I'll be surprised if I can get it painted actually. It'll probably stay in the bottom. It'd be one of those things.
Oh, you're one of those?
Yeah. A good idea at the time, but
Yeah.
although Carl's asked me to paint his, so Crooked Dice Carl, so
Yes.
that'll be a good excuse to get that out and paint both at the same time. So
Cool.
what else have we got? A bit of freebooters.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, Imperial Assault mats. Because I love Imperial Assault.
Yeah.
Bought into that early on, so.
Yeah,
I see you're talking about that.
Well, yeah, we got to get into that. One of the guys in our gaming group has just bought Imperial Assault big time. So, Sci-Fi Dungeon Bash, Dave, you'll love it. I mean, I know you're not a Star Wars fan, but it's a Dungeon Bash.
No,
just think of it as a Dungeon Bash with guns, you'll be fine.
Yeah, I'll be fine. Sure.
I mean, Cookie Dice have got all the cards, so you can play
Oh,
with
yeah.
7TV.
7TV, yeah.
I'll get
I'll
extra
tap
beer
into
in for the day we play that. That'll be all right.
It's great. I thoroughly enjoy that. Spent far too much money on it.
Yeah.
What else have I?
Definitely not
Death in
me.
the Dark Continent.
Oh, yeah.
Just got.
Stuff
But I've never
non-stop.
kickstarted or nickstarted anything. That's the first time I've done that. So I've got no natives, nothing. So I'm starting from scratch with that.
All right.
Why? I don't know.
Just because.
Shiny
Yes.
stuff
Because you
again.
can.
Yeah, because you can, because we do.
Indeed.
So yeah.
Well, great to catch up, Dave.
Yeah, and you,
we look forward to having you on the show in a couple of months.
Yeah, looking
And
forward to it.
we'll finally geek out about terrain.
Yes, and everything else. Yes.
Yeah, brilliant
Yes,
stuff.
Good. All right.
That'll be a long show.
Let's catch up with Greg from Agema Miniatures. Hi, Greg. How are you?
Yeah, I'm very well, thank you, Neil. How are you doing?
No, not too bad at all. Not too bad at all. We last spoke a couple of years ago, wasn't it? And
Yeah,
that
2
was your
years ago.
first when you just had your Velites come out of Velite come out at the time.
Yes, that was the first plastic box set. Yes, 2 years
Yeah.
ago. Jesus, it's been that long.
Yeah, I was going to
Flown
say. I was looking at your stand and everything that's come out. So, okay, 5-minute catch up. How have the last 2 years been?
Pretty good, yeah. I think what's been interesting is that we've got the plastic Velites and we've got the plastic Legionaries released.
Yeah.
Went through a long thought process about small plastic releases, but one of the question marks with the Carthaginian Wars is, particularly from the Carthaginian point of view, there are lots of small pockets
Yeah.
of nationalities and troop
Yeah.
types. And
Yeah,
the big question...
it's a very eclectic army, isn't it? Yeah.
Indeed. So the question then becomes, how cost effective is it to do plastic box sets for each one of those?
Yeah.
And the decision I've taken is, actually outside of the main troop types, the Romans, it's probably not that cost effective.
Yeah.
If you think about things like Carthaginian citizen, if I can get the word out, citizen infantry, they're pretty much of an anachronism. They only fight in 2 battles that we know of.
Yeah.
One of them is Zama, and they don't do very well, and they pretty much get wiped out by the Romans. So how popular would they be? How much would they sell in volume? Probably not that much.
Mm-hmm.
So in the intervening period, I've been doing a lot of research and development on the metal side of things.
Right.
So there'll be metal releases for various elephant types. We've got Mammutine stroke Campanians released now. There'll be citizen infantry, Republican cavalry, early Republican cavalry,
Yeah.
Italian allied cavalry. And then once we've got those smaller, rarer troop types covered off, working towards maybe a future plastic release in the next year, 18 months or so.
Right, okay, so very much a case of filling out everything to do with Punic Wars at this point in time.
Yeah, I think there's quite a lot of troop types, quite a lot of interesting troop types that haven't been covered off, that haven't been done historically.
Yeah, because everybody does, the bulk troops that everybody needs, isn't it? But,
Indeed. Yeah, I mean, one of the things I'm keen to do is make sure that the releases that we have are as accurate as we can know about.
Yeah.
So with the release of the Campanians Mammutines, I'm going to look to do next Samnite cavalry, Campanian cavalry,
Yeah.
but with the really short tunics,
Oh, right, okay.
which are what appear on the archaeological records that we have to date.
Yeah.
As far as I'm aware, no one's done Romans and early Samnites and cavalry, companion cavalry in really short tunics.
Yeah.
I'm not sure whether there's an ethical question mark over that. Would anybody be offended by metal figures showing their backsides? I'm not sure, but we'll soon find out.
Yeah.
And then once those more unusual types are covered off in the metal, then yeah, as I said, work towards the rest of the bulk troops for the period.
Okay.
And there are some really quite interesting references to particularly Italian allies and Spanish, which I find fascinating, and I'd really like to do, and I don't think anybody else has done historically before. So that's the plan, the broad plan.
Yeah. Okay. So obviously, from the plastic side of things, we've got the Legionnaires and the Velite, and then you've got a whole range of Carthaginian metals now. Yeah.
Carthaginian metals, command metals. As I said, the Campanians are in Campanians and Mamertines are in metal.
Yeah.
And various character types. Yes.
Brilliant. Okay, so are you looking at producing rules at all to promote your range of figures, or are you looking at more of a case of putting them in other people's books?
I think certainly for the short to medium term, work with other people's rules.
Yeah.
I do like Simon Miller's To the Strongest.
Oh, they're great.
I do like large-scale battles. There's been a move, I think, over the last few years towards skirmish-type games.
Yeah.
And as fun as they are, my preference is for large-scale battles.
Yeah.
Simon's rules handle those really, really well.
Yeah.
I think there are certain nuances and flavours that are always period-specific.
Yeah.
And it would be nice, ultimately, to do some rules that are very period-specific and capture some of the nuances of that particular phase of history.
Yeah.
But I need to get the figures done first.
Right.
So that won't be a short-term thing. If it happens, it would be a medium to longer-term thing.
Brilliant. Well, it's nice to see, after a couple of years, it's nice to see how the business has grown.
Indeed.
And I hope you have a good day at Salute. Thank you
very
for
much.
chatting.
No worries.
And hopefully catch up with you soon.
Yeah, always good to see you, Neil.
Right. I've caught up with John from Titan Wargames. Hello, John.
Hello.
Hi. How's Salute been for you so far?
It's been good. It's good to be back. It's been a bit of a quiet start so far, but it usually is for us.
So you back? How often have you done Salute then?
We've done, I think, 4 shows before.
Yeah.
Yeah. We mainly come here to sort of make contacts and meet people, hand out flyers, that kind of thing.
Okay. I must admit you are a relatively new company for me, but can you tell us all about Titan Wargames, please?
Yeah, so it started off as kind of a hobby thing for me, really. Making miniatures was kind of a can we do it idea between me and my mate who you met earlier. And from there it just kind of went into, I could put together a website and maybe sell some of these, because I've got quite a lot of interest from people on forums. At the time there was sort of a gap in the market for kind of evil dwarves, and we sort of exploited that quite a lot.
Yeah.
And it's just sort of kept going as an outlet for my creative stuff.
Yeah, I must admit I did notice I wandered past the first thing. I'm a bit of a dwarf fan.
All right.
So I spotted your dwarfs and went, oh, they look nice.
Thank you very much.
So is it? So it's 28mm fantasy?
Yeah.
Yeah.
28mm fantasy. Yeah. Sort of square bases, but suitable for anything like Ninth Age, Warhammer, that kind of thing.
Yeah. Okay. So what's currently in your range?
So at the moment we've got dwarves and goblins.
Yeah.
And I'm working on orcs at the moment, trying to add some other races in. And we're sort of looking at doing a game, but it's quite a complicated thing to do, and we don't want to do one unless it's really good.
Yeah.
So, yeah, we might be looking at getting someone to help with that, because I mean I can write stuff to an all right degree, but it's not going to be professional level.
Yeah.
Yeah.
About how many miniatures have you got in your range at the moment?
So at the moment, hang on. There's about sort of 20 odd in the dwarfs and 11 in the goblins.
Yeah.
And they're sort of divided into troopers and characters. Yeah. So you can make sort of quite nice war bands out of them. for various games.
And what plans have you got for the future?
So I want to expand into, like I said, orcs. I'll do them, and probably some undead and elves as well.
Yeah.
Trying to fill sort of niche ranges, really. So I do unusual figures that aren't necessarily represented.
Yeah, because obviously it's a big market, isn't it?
It is now, yeah. It's a lot bigger than when we started.
Yeah.
So I need to sort of change focus to kind of things that people might be looking for but not be able to find. Things for like dungeon crawlers and D&D as well.
Oh, right, yeah.
Sort of unusual character combinations, stuff like that. It's kind of what I want to do next.
Cool. Well, thank you very much for your time, John.
Thanks very much.
I hope you have a good day.
Thank you.
And catch up with you soon.
Cool. Thanks very much.
Thank you.
Nice to meet you.
Well, nice to catch up with James from Oshiro TMTerrain. Hello, James. How you doing?
Not too bad, not too bad.
How's it gone?
It's picking up actually. It was a bit quiet this morning, generally is. But yeah, it's.
Of course, you are kind of the opposite end of the entrance, aren't you?
Yes, yeah, we do tend to get flitted around quite a bit. Yeah, it's good. It's good.
Yeah. So, how's it been with the terrain business this year then?
It's actually been quite good. Had quite a lot of international orders and commissions have gone up as well.
Cool.
So things seem to be improving. But I've got to juggle it with my normal work.
Oh,
so
right.
it can be difficult sometimes. But we managed to find a balance, so it's not too bad.
And I suppose with the slight fact that we've had a certain samurai gang get released this year may have helped slightly?
Oh yes, it has. Yes. Certainly noticed that one coming, yeah. Yeah, it's been good. It's been good.
Yeah. So tease us then, what have you been working on for the past few months and what have you got coming out in the near future?
Well, we've had quite a few new little edition sets added to the catalogue, a few new buildings, watermill.
Yeah, I saw that. That looks
seems
nice.
to be quite popular, that one, yeah. But after Salute, I'm going to be going back to the 15mm catalogue and trying to extend that one to match the 28.
Yeah.
Because the 28s I've added to it, it's quite full at the moment. So I want to step back a bit, do some 15s, maybe look at something else as well. Also got a new sculptor for the Box of Rebellion figures. So fingers crossed they'll start coming out again. So a few more packs of Japanese and then start with Chinese and then another nation, we'll see how it goes. So fingers crossed, should be quite a comprehensive range.
Brilliant. And as I say, things seem to be going from strength to strength. I mean, looking at your fantastic terrain tables over there.
Yeah, well, keeps me busy, keeps me off the streets.
Yeah, you could say that.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, I mean, how long did it take you to put that together this year?
Well, most of it was from last year and the year before, but the keep, the tent shoe, I've been working on it for about 3 months.
Yeah.
But it all ramped up towards today, and I haven't been to sleep yet, which is half of the course, really.
Oh, yeah.
I think a lot of people go through that as well.
What is it? It's salute or sleep on Monday?
It is, yeah. Yeah.
Cool. Well, thanks for chatting.
No problem.
We're going to catch up on the podcast, hopefully in a couple of months' time or so.
Yes, no problem at all.
Brilliant
no problem
stuff.
at all. Look forward to it.
And we look forward to catching up with you then. In the meantime, hope the rest of the show goes well.
Thank you very much. Good
Cheers.
to see you again.
I managed to catch up slightly earlier than normal in the day with Andy Cooper from Westwind. I mean, normally we end up catching up about 3:30 or something, isn't it?
It is, yeah, normally, yeah.
So, last time we spoke, it was Pantomic Kickstarter.
Yeah.
That seemed to go quite well.
It went okay, yeah, it went good. Yeah, I was pleased with it. You know, we got 20 odd K sort of backing. That was really good, you know, and we're going to produce a lot of mechs from it, 3D prints. It's going to allow us to do about 10 different new models for that, plus a bunch of stuff for Secrets of the Third Reich as well. So that was good, you know.
Cool. I noticed you were starting to look at producing some of the Far East stuff that we talked about.
Japanese, yeah. We got some. Yeah, you mean the 15mm Japanese?
No, this was on the Kickstarter.
Oh yeah. We got the basic, the sort of core troops out for Imperial Japan, so the platoon section and the heavy weapons, and a couple of special characters, and I think we just about started the US Marines, but it sort of rolled to an end before we got more Marines and things out. So, but we have got more stuff planned for the Marines. So, yeah,
Cool.
It's good.
Cool. So, Salute. It's one of the only shows you go to there, isn't it?
It's the only show I go. Yeah, I go to. Yeah. So
how's it been?
it's good. I mean, it's heaving. You know, it's been busy.
Yeah, you can tell from the amount of noise that's around. Yeah,
It is heaving.
It's quite busy around here. Yeah.
And we've gone to a quiet bit.
Yeah. So, have you bought anything new for the show? Have you bought anything new for the show, or are you just kind of showing off? I mean, we're sat here looking at a table full of mechs. So, is this kind of what you're showing off?
Yeah, we're just sort of previewing this. John is rewriting Secrets of the Third Reich at the moment, so second edition. So he's working on the second edition of Secrets.
Yeah.
And we decided to put a mech game on because we've just done the mech Kickstarter, so we thought it just lines up. And unfortunately, the only things we managed to get production-wise is the Panzer mech.
Yeah.
Because we've just been awaiting. It just takes time, to filter through. So, I mean, we've got about 6 of the new mechs actually through from the printer in Lithuania. But they've now got to go off to the resin guys to be resined and get all the patterns done, stuff like that. So that's where we're up to on it.
Cool. I know when we chatted March. Yeah.
March.
It wasn't actually that long ago, was it?
No, it was March, because the Kickstarter ran sort of mid-March, early March to... Yeah, so it might have been early February, late February, I reckon.
And we were, at the time, you were talking a lot about Far East for 14 Battle for 15 mil.
Yeah, we got a bunch of stuff done.
You teased it, I think, was it Salute last year? You teased me with some figures.
Oh, we did. Yeah, we got all the Japanese things done, and the US Marine stuff. It's all done. All the heavy weapons, all the infantry packs, LVTs, Chiha, lots of guns. We got like all the guns for the Japanese, all the guns for the US Marine Corps stuff. We got white scout car stuff done. It's remembering everything. There must be about 30 or 40 codes ready to go.
I was going to say, ready to go. Okay, so
ready to go.
When's the big release then?
Well, we have a production schedule problem, and it's been sort of building up for a while now. So our resin guys can only produce X amount of stuff in the time scale.
Yeah.
So right now they're working on Panzermech.
Right.
So there's 15 mil stuff's just got to wait, unfortunately, because they can't do both things. If we could find another contract caster to do resin stuff for us, great. But it's finding good contract casters.
Yeah.
And it's always been an issue, and we should take it in house really, but I don't want to commit to doing it.
Yeah.
I don't want it. I'd rather somebody else more professional than me for resin would deal with it.
Yeah. All right. So basically, we're all having to wait for 15 mil Pacific War because we've got these hulking great Panzer mechs in the way.
Yeah, that's it, Neil. Yeah, it's the Panzer mechs stomped all over them.
Okay, so at a guess, what are we looking at? Like July?
Yeah, sometime this year.
Sometime this year.
It depends how fast we get through this project, which is going really well. I mean, we've only got three or four left to actually have printed. Cool. So they're off to go. We just had the Russian one through.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, he's going to have to do that one again. Well, some parts for it again because he printed two of the wrong side. 2 right-hand-sided gun pods, which don't work.
Yeah. So, on top of that, anything else coming up in the pipeline that you've been that you've been working on since Panzermech?
You see the new Westwind banner, the red one, with the
that's a dwarf Roman centurion.
It is, yeah. So,
okay. Pray tell.
So we got another sort of mini Kickstarter lined up. That's it's called Iron Legion, Dwarves of the Iron Legion, and they're basically Romanized dwarves. So
okay, what scale?
28 mil.
Sorry, it's Westwind. It's 28 mil.
It's 28 mil. Westwind's 28 mil. Poison Battle's 15 mil.
15, yes.
So they're 28 mil.
So 28 mil Dwarven Roman legionaries.
Yeah. which are cool.
Superb.
Yeah.
Superb,
Yeah, they look good. Plus auxiliaries as well. So we've done auxiliary dwarf types that look more like barbarian sort of stuff.
Right, okay.
So,
dare I ask, what are the cavalry going to be riding?
at the moment, we've got a guy riding a sort of scale armoured boar.
Oh, right,
so
yeah.
that cataphracti type sort of look to it, and you know,
cool.
It looks good. Yeah, and an emperor. We've got a dwarf emperor as well.
I like it.
Yeah,
so, okay, so you're going to launch that on Kickstarter again?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, that's nearly ready to go. Well, I can't say when we.
Yes.
Well, I want to get. I never run 2 projects simultaneously. It's just too confusing.
Right. Okay, and dare I mean, okay, you just told us about the Romans. Opposition planned?
For the dwarf.
For the dwarves.
Oh, it'd be goblins, I suppose. But although I've got some patterns done for that, I haven't actually done a lot of work on it. So.
All right, so it'd be some sort of goblin barbarians or something.
Yeah, hairy goblins.
Cool. Brilliant stuff.
Got Dark Ages. Sorry, let's just say Warren Empire rule set.
Yes.
Right. Okay. Where we're up to on that? We're nearly finished. We just had to do a bit of a rewrite because the Republican Romans. There was a bit of a glitch that although we play tested everything, this thing hadn't occurred until quite recently when we were play testing it again. Final play test. We're like, oh, if this happens, then this happens, and that doesn't work. So we had to go back and fix the Republican Romans. So that's where we're up to on that. Once that's done, it's ready to go to layout and then print. So it shouldn't be much longer for that.
Cool.
Then later on, probably towards the end of this year, it might get knocked into next year, would be sort of the third phase of War and Empire, which will cover Dark Ages. It will cover the Arab conquest, Byzantine armies, and the late Roman and the Huns.
Cool.
So we've got a lot of it done. Got a lot of the late Romans are actually finished. The Huns are started. The Arab conquest stuff, that's underway. Got a lot of Vikings done. A lot of Vikings. So if you like Vikings, I can't see there be any duplication of Viking models in the actual Viking packs out of the 24 figure pack. Yeah.
Oh wow.
So there's a lot of different Viking models.
All right, so you basically, it sounds like you're doing like 4th to 9th century sort of stuff. Yeah,
right the way through. Yeah. So it's going to be good.
Wow, and so that's coming out later in the year then?
Yeah. Well, we're trying to approach it slightly differently. We're trying to get a lot more done before we actually come with it, so there's less drag time behind the actual project running, so it'll be completed faster.
Brilliant, but it sounds like, well, when that gets a bit closer to fruition, we'll have to get you back on the
we'll
show
have another chat. Yeah.
That's cool.
So that's everything we've got lined up.
Brilliant. Well, Andy, thanks for chatting to us. It's been great to run into you again. And all being well, as I say, we'll catch up in the autumn and I look forward to phase 3 of War Empire.
Oh yeah, 2nd edition Secrets of the Third Reich.
2nd edition Secrets.
Forgot about that.
Yeah.
Which we're working on.
Cool, look forward to that, mate.
Yeah.
Thanks for the chat, thanks for your time, much appreciated.
All right, Neil.
Caught up with Annie. Hi Annie, how's it going?
Hi. Super good. Really good.
So it looked like anybody who follows you on social media would see it's been a bit of a hectic week. Is it all has it all come together? And the desperate question that everybody wants to know is just how many packs of cats have you sold?
I don't know off the top of my head, but I know that I sold them all.
You sold them all?
Everything that was brought is sold, yes.
Oh, fantastic.
Yeah, cats went crazy, bunnies went crazy. First person of the day came and bought a whole peg worth of bunnies, so it's amazing.
Okay, so we're expecting to see a bunny army appear around the internet.
Yeah, I was quite excited about that.
Cool, so I mean, last time we spoke, you were reading off all these releases that you had. and then it wasn't until later that you suddenly went, oh, hang on a minute, that means I'm releasing about 50 figures. I mean, how's it all gone?
I got a bit carried away, but yeah, it's all gone well. I had a couple of I had quite a few problems, but they've all worked out. There are a couple of the figures that ended up not released, but they'll be released in a couple of weeks. But I've got that much that it doesn't matter. I got all my Shield Maidens, Soviets, a few other figures, Raging Annie.
Brilliant.
And I even got the next Kickstarter minis all inked up and ready for viewing as well.
Oh wow, that's the next guy.
Yeah, Ghost of Gaia 2.
Yeah.
Cool. Yep, so the figures are there, so lots of people have been photographing them and swooning over them. A couple of weeks, that one will be out as well.
Brilliant, so good show then.
Yes, amazing, brilliant.
Excellent stuff. And as I say, I mean, we saw when we finally got to see the mounted Shield Maidens a couple of weeks ago. It was like, huge draw factor. They were lovely.
Yeah, absolutely stunning. I'm really happy with them. And I got to meet Alan yesterday as well, the sculptor. I've not actually met him yet before, so that was really nice. I gave him a little present of one of his scouts. I got Andrew Taylor to paint up on the plinth. So he was over the moon with that.
Oh, brilliant.
I guess sculptors don't get much of their own stuff back once they've done it. It's got a little mantelpiece thing now.
Brilliant. So it's been a good day then?
Yeah, absolutely. And it can carry on being a great day. So.
And not too much kickback from wearing the tutus and stuff from the male members of the staff?
No, they've had quite a few photos taken, so I'm sure they'll be all over the internet. And having a great time.
I must admit, having seen the photo yesterday, I was a bit disappointed the fact that you hadn't convinced you to dye his hair.
No, I tried, but no. We were the crazy hair gang last night.
Yeah. Cool. Well, I'm really glad it's going well.
Cool.
And we'll have to get you back on and catch up again.
Oh yeah.
Later in the year.
Cool. Amazing. Thank you.
Okay. Well, I hope it goes well for the rest of the show.
Brilliant. Cheers.
Brilliant. Thank you. Managed to bump into Dave from Wargames. We must stop meeting like this. It's like every salute in UK Games Expo.
Yeah. This is our 6th salute, I think now. Yeah. So this is exactly 5 years since we started, really. So yeah.
Now it doesn't seem like 5 minutes ago that I was chatting to you last year with Andy about launching Drop Fleet Commander, and here we are.
Here it is. Yeah, all available. Pretty much the whole range is now out. Apart from the new battle cruisers, which we're showing off for the first time here, and they'll be out later in the year.
Yeah.
We're going to announce some dates for those soon. Command cards pre-release here as well, because they're out at the end of the month, and a couple of other new toys as well for Drop Fleet and Drop Zone. So it's been really busy times.
So I was going to say, how's the year been?
Busy, yeah. So I mean, we've expanded some more. I've still been in the CAD cave for most of the year because I've been working on these battle cruisers and stuff for Drop Zone and things like that. So it's been a really busy year. You know, we've had to kind of finish rounding off with the Kickstarter and stuff like that, and just moving on with supporting the games, plural, which is a thing.
Yes. Games as opposed to just the one.
Yeah. So no, it's been an interesting year, and we've got quite a few exciting things in the pipeline that you'll hear about very soon. For both systems that we're working on, because obviously you don't often see stuff that we haven't announced yet. So we're all really busy. That's probably all I can say really right now. But it's it's going to be a big year for us, hopefully.
Yeah. Now, I mean, obviously over the last year we've seen an awful lot of very beautiful and complex ships. I mean, how was that as far as production-wise are concerned? Was that a new level of production challenges?
For the plastics, certainly, because I mean we've done detailed plastics before. You know, the Drop Zone ones aren't exactly not replete with detail, but but the Drop Fleet ones are definitely a step up. You know, they're I think about as far as we could go with detail. The flexibility of it, that's something new, because the Drop Zone plastics were always originally in resin and were designed for resin, and we had to adapt them for plastics, whereas the Drop Fleet plastics were designed to be plastic from the outset. So that's why you can build all these different variants, and they're multi-part, and there's voids and fin sections and all those things that are difficult to do in resin that you can do in plastic better.
Sure.
There's things that you can do in resin that you can't do so well in plastic. but if you design for the process, you get the best results.
Yeah, sure.
So that's where the plastics for Drop Fleet are better. Obviously, I'm very proud of them, all of them. And things like the space station kit is the sort of thing the Kickstarter let us do that.
Yes.
And that's come out fantastic. I'm really happy with that. Space Station Lego, if you've not seen it before.
Oh, yeah. It's a superb.
Yeah, you get 4 massive sprues with loads of bits, and you can build whatever the hell you like for space stations, which is really fun, good fun to build, and really flexible for any space system. Not even if you don't play Drop Fleet, it's useful for wargaming in general. So that's been nice. And even getting plastic launch assets, the little fighters and the bombers in plastic, that was cool. Some resin, like the battleships are resin because they're big and chunky and thick, and that's better in resin.
Yeah.
The new battle cruisers are resin as well. We can't do everything in plastic because the sheer cost of it.
Yeah, sure.
For a company our size to have as many plastic tools as we do is quite unusual. There's probably only 2 or 3 of us in the industry there's other companies that are a lot bigger than Hulk with plastics, but there are 9 of us, probably soon to be 10 of us at the moment. So we're growing, but we're still quite a small company. So I think it's been quite an achievement to do what we've done in the last couple of years. But
certainly. As I say, you're saying, it's your 6th year at Salute, 5th running the business. Looking back, how's it been?
Mental. I certainly wouldn't have put us here with a booth this big, with the Avenger here and the number of people that are around the booth all the time, and the interest and the number of players we have now. No, it's fantastic, and it's really we've still got further to go on some things, especially organised play. That's a big focus for this year, is improving our community engagement and organised play and things. That's a lot of the company resources going into that this year, because we know we have more work to do there.
Yeah.
But we need to compete on that level, and that's important for us. So it doesn't come overnight. It requires a lot of groundwork and a lot of effort, but we'll get there. And it's cool, really. We want to improve and just keep getting better and keep releasing miniatures as good as we can make them. And I want to get back to fiction at some point quite soon if I get a chance, which would be nice.
What if ever you're unchained from the computer for a bit?
Yeah, if ever I get let out of the CAD cave, because I tend to do my writing at home rather than in the office.
Yeah.
Usually, my wife goes to her parents for a couple of weeks, and I write a book. But we'll see. It's good to be busy. I suppose it's not a bad way of putting it. Yeah.
Brilliant. Well, it's great to see you going from strength to strength. I say congratulations on how well Drop Fleet Command has been received, and look forward to what you got in store for us, despite the fact that you it's been very tight-lipped, you won't tell us anything.
Oh yeah, no, we've got the new stuff to show off here, and there's going to be a few more announcements probably in about 6 to 8 weeks' time, something like that.
Oh, okay.
So there is more stuff that we're going to be talking about.
Oh, right. So basically what you're saying is that if I come and see you at the UK Games Expo, you'll have a lot more to tell us.
Yeah, I'll be able to spill the beans then.
Excellent
for sure.
stuff. Well, always great to catch up with you, David. Thank you very much.
Awesome. Thank you very much.
Cheers. He's somebody I don't see very often, except for every show that we tend to pop into each other. It's Matt Slade. Hello, mate. How you doing?
Hello, Neil. I'm very well, thank you. Yourself?
Yeah, good, mate. Yeah. So, you're here, and you don't appear to be attached to a trade stand.
No, I'm in disguise. Being 6'6", I tend to find that I only have to remove the yellow shirt, and then no one can see me. So.
Oh, I see. Well, I must admit, we've been chatting for about 20 minutes, and I've got a sore neck. So, yeah. We got Matt, we got Ralph here. I mean, Ralph isn't much smaller. So, hi, Ralph. Say hi.
Hi, Neil.
Hi, and yes. So, yes, it's like staring into the clouds.
Yeah. So.
How are you? How are you
I'm
doing?
very well. Yeah. So I'm up here meeting some of my Glenbrook Games painting customers, dropping off a few orders. And also, I've dropped off a massive order for Deb's Saddle Goose Designs bags today with Martin at Warbases.
Oh, cool!
So, they asked us to, the Royalists, Debs does all the work on the bags, but they asked Debs to do some for gaming bags for them to take to Games Expo.
Oh, wow, okay.
Well, they're doing it for the first time, and they weren't sure whether a load of MDF would appeal to people at Games Expo, so they wanted something to basically sort of attract different customers to the stand. So,
and let's face it, Debs' bags are rather... Okay, let's get the plug in.
Yes.
Saddle Goose.
Yeah.
They are lovely. And I mean, she's been going mad on samurai designs recently, hasn't she?
Yeah. Apparently, coincidentally, there is a rather popular samurai-based game at the moment, which does apparently require the drawing of tokens from a receptacle.
Well, who'd have thunk?
Yeah, who'd have thought it? So ever willing to leap on the bandwagon, as per our furry Congo dice bags a little while ago, or Congo-inspired dice bags, sorry.
What they weren't leopard skin posing patches?
They were the leopard skin ones, yeah, and cheetah, but no animals were harmed in the production. Debs came up with some samurai-based designs, and of course, once you start doing those, people start saying, "Oh, can you do a particular mon?"
Yes.
And of course, I had no idea what that meant, and then of course I googled it, and of course, mon is the sort of Japanese clan heraldry. So we've started getting commissions for various clans now.
And then you discover that each clan has several different variants.
Oh, I know.
And everyone's going, well, I'll have one of each, please.
Yeah. So that's where we're at. So yeah, me and Ralph are just having a bit of a shopping spree today. Lots of things falling into our bags as we go around. 15mm sci-fi. What else have we got? There are various fancy bits and pieces that I didn't know that I needed until I saw them today. So
that's what Salute's all about, isn't it?
Absolutely. Cool. Yeah.
And bloody hell! Sorry, I've just been approached by Mr. Luff. We'd lost Mr. Luff for a couple of hours, and he's carrying bags. He's spent money.
You deserted me. You didn't even bother looking for me after I told you on Facebook. And get a decent phone.
What do you mean get a decent phone? You know what I mean? Answer me. Oh, again, sorry. As Mr. Hobbs would say, we're acting like an old couple again. I'll shut up. So obviously, it's like him in disguise as a punter.
Yes.
So when's your next show as Glenbrook Games?
My next show is the complete opposite of Salute's. It's Legionary at Exeter, which is sort of middle of May this year. It's they've moved the date slightly. But I quite like it as a complete and utter sort of juxtaposition, if that's the right word, to Salute.
Yeah.
Because it's tiny, it's quiet. You can put your feet up and just have a nice quiet chat to people without feeling that you've got to rush around to the next stand or you're going to miss the next game. So.
And how have you both found the show?
A little bit quieter than previously.
Yeah.
In terms of, I don't think there's so many traders here. There's a lot more room to move, it seems, but still too much to see in one day, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, we've not even looked. We've certainly not seen all the trade stands, and we haven't had a chance to look at the games yet. So,
we've missed possibly the biggest game here. We haven't seen yet, Simon Miller's game.
Yeah,
and we don't know where it is.
It is amazing how it's got something like a 24-foot table, isn't it? And it's like we've lost it. It's just nowhere.
Yeah, to miss it.
The funny thing is with this vast exhibition space, the games do vanish. I mean, we were stood watching Rich do his Two Fat Lardies sharp practice game. It's a 6x4 table, but it looks tiny. It looks like 3x2.
Yeah.
And you get this weird optical illusion just because of the massive space. I mean, a few years ago now, me and a mate did Blenheim in 28mm. And that was 24 foot long by 6 foot. And there were many people who had gone to the show hoping to see it and missed it. And it's the most 4,000 odd figures on it, but
it's that ridiculous thing. It is a ridiculous thing that it's this huge game and just miss it completely.
Yeah. What Blenheim game? But
well, Matt's coming on. Somebody else we're preempting who's coming on the show in a few weeks.
Yes, I'm indeed. Yeah, looking forward to it.
Yeah, cool. So you'll get to find out more in depth about Glenbrook Games, and I'm sure you can give another plug to Debs.
Oh, definitely. I'll try and get her on the line, but she's a bit shy.
Right. Okay. Well, great to meet you both.
Yeah, good to speak to you.
And so catch up soon. Oh, and by the way, how's the Lardy game coming for Market Larden?
It's all done. Martian practice.
Yeah, we're there. We haven't got much. I don't think we've got anything particularly to add to it, have we?
No, it's one we've done before.
Ralph is just working on a sound system for the test match special theme and the tiffin phase.
Brilliant.
Just to keep Mike Whittaker happy.
Well, it's that Calypso theme. It's got to be done, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, we tried to do it down at the Lardiff event, and it just wasn't loud enough, was it?
Drowned out from my phone, so we're going to bring along some kind of speaker system.
Yeah. Plug it into a car's subwoofer or something. Yeah.
Brilliant. Well, nice to chat to you both. Take care.
Yeah. Cheers.
This is a message from the Cranky Lawyer. Huzzah! Please plan to join us for 3 great days of the best our hobby has to offer. Beautiful tabletops, challenging scenarios, board games, a wonderful variety of gaming related shopping and great company. Huzzah! May 19th to the 21st, 2017, South Portland, Maine. Miniatures games, board games, tournaments, vendors, raffle and great company. Join us for 3 days of fun. If you want to learn more about shoutouts, visit our Patreon page. The link is on the website. We hope that you're enjoying this episode of the Meeples and Miniatures podcast. If you are, would you like to support us? There's a couple of ways of doing so. You can become a patron of the show by supporting us on our Patreon page. There you can give regularly every time we produce a show. Alternatively, you may want to give a one-off donation, and you can do that by using PayPal. For more details on both these options, please click on the Donate tab on our website www.meeplesandminiatures.co.uk.
I bumped into Michael from Oathsworn Miniatures. Hello, Michael. How are you doing?
Hello, Neil. You all right?
Yeah. How's it been?
Busy. Yeah, it's good. I think it's doing well. We've had similar numbers through the door, I think, to last year, maybe a few more.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, things are selling, so that's always good.
Good stuff. So, how's life with Oathsworn? I mean, I know it's not very long since we last chatted, but how's things been going?
Busy. We've got a deadline of June the 1st to have our 2nd edition written for Osprey, so we're desperately play testing and changing things and last minute editions and things. And I'm sculpting like mad because we have to have all the photos done for then as well, so we're trying to get things sculpted, moulded, cast and painted in the next 6 weeks. So a bit hectic.
Brilliant. We've got Joe as well. Hi, Joe. Hello. Hi. I've noticed on social media you've been casting resin like.
I have.
Yes.
Yes, our Oathsworn tabletop terrain is now available. Finally. It's just all the stuff that we've done on previous Kickstarters. Well, not all of them, but there's the tower, the arcane circle, boxes and barrels, tents, the mausoleum's very, very popular. Brilliant. The stones. Yeah, so it's another bow to our string to our bow. I'll get it the right way around. String to our bow.
So I mean, when we were chatting on the show last, you were obviously at the point where you're going to launch your own terrain making company.
Yeah, I'm not near there yet.
No?
Working on it.
I'm working on it, yes.
So, I mean, in all seriousness, have you got any plans for what's coming next?
I'll make another piece of scenery for the next Boroughs and Badgers Kickstarter.
First 6 screens are in the cabinet.
Yeah. And I'd love to do an all-terrain Kickstarter, I must admit. I'm very excited about that. So I have been listing ideas. I'm doing drawings and planning things. So in the next, by the end of the year, I'd love to do that. So but it takes time, miniatures and Boroughs and Badgers and things keep getting in my way.
As I say, we just lost Mike because he's doing more important things like serving customers. Mike was saying it. Okay, so you got June to get the rule book.
Yes.
Of course, that's not due out till. Is it next Salute?
It's next Salute. They're going to launch it. That's the plan.
That's a heck of a lead time, isn't it?
I'll say yes, but I don't know what the question was. So yes.
The 2nd edition coming out.
2nd edition.
It is. It is a long time to be. I think they've got to do the art, the layout, all the diagrams, all that stuff gets done afterwards, and it takes them time. They're working well ahead. I know they've got other things planned as well, which I can't say anything about, so I won't. but go and ask them, because they've got some lovely 3-ups over there for the new plastic goblins and things. So.
Yes, I want to go. Yes. Having a chat with the guys over at over Osprey is definitely on my list of things to do today. So hopefully you'll hear that later in the show. But so all going well then?
Yes, yeah, brilliant. Always recommend Salute. Great show.
Brilliant stuff. Well, always great to chat to you both.
You too.
And hope you have a good rest of the show. And are you going back to the expo?
Yes, we are.
Yes, we are.
Brilliant.
Yeah, really excited about that.
Brilliant. And that's scary because it looks like they've almost doubled the trade.
They have. Yes, there's loads of room.
Yeah, nearly double the floor space, isn't it? So
but we have double the stand
that's
that
true.
we had last year. So there you go. We're just keeping
it all works out.
Yeah.
Great stuff. Well, I'll catch up with you then.
Will do.
Okay, thanks both. Take care.
Bye.
Thank you. Bye.
We're with Matt from, appropriately, Battle Mats. That is a joke that Matt has just made before recording.
Not for the first time.
Not for the first time. Matt, do you want to tell us all about Battle Mats, please?
Yep, so we have a range of bespoke mats for various miniature games and roleplay, both in vinyl material and the rubber neoprene mouse mat material.
Yeah. Okay, so I mean, we're looking at a plethora of designs available. I mean, are there a standard set of designs that you use, or?
We've got about 50 designs at the moment.
Yeah.
We've brought pretty much one of each and multiples of a fair few to the show today.
Yeah.
The plethora we have left is what we've got left now.
Busy day?
Yeah, very busy.
Good.
We've got quite a small stand as well, so we've had to try and tack them onto the end.
Yeah.
But yeah, so multiple sizes, so 3 foot by 3 foot, which is mainly for your X-wing sort of Frostgrave sort of style with designs to match. 4 foot by 4 foots, mostly terrain sort of designs, and 6 by 4s.
Right. And do you do custom design, custom sizes and maybe custom overlays as well?
Yes, yeah, mainly for the vinyl, because it's much easier to produce those in smaller quantities. The rubber, there's much bigger, like minimum order quantities, so a design someone would need to have quite a few of them to make it worthwhile.
Sure. So, I mean, for example, if people wanted a square or a hex overlay on something, is that something you can easily do?
Absolutely, yeah.
Brilliant. So how long has the business been going?
We've been going as gaming books, which is our main thing. Some of them are hidden around the place here.
Oh, okay.
For about 2.5 years, I think.
Yeah.
The mats started about half a year after that, so they've grown in size over the last year and a half. Cool. This is our first salute.
So let's try out your very first salute. How have you found it?
Well, I've been as a punter many times,
right,
so it wasn't a surprise, but it's been busy.
I was going to say, so how does the experience as a trader compare to that as a punter?
I've not had a chance to look around at everything anywhere near as much as I'd like, but I think that's going to be a common problem.
Yeah, I suppose that at the end of the day that means at least you don't start spending the profits.
This is true.
Yes.
We also don't have a very big card to take it all back, so I can't buy too much even if I do.
No, right, okay.
The emphasis is on selling it. That's it, yeah. Either that or I might have to get a train back, yeah.
Brilliant stuff. Well, you got some really nice designs here.
These mats are great. The neoprene ones are really well made. The end stitching's brilliant.
I must admit, you see a lot of neoprene mats, but you don't see many that are actually stitched the whole way around.
Yeah, to be honest, they only arrived, the shipment, yesterday. So they arrived just in time for the show, which is why we haven't really got much display for them, because we weren't sure we were going to have them.
Yeah.
So so we got them yesterday, quality controlled them, and brought them up today.
Brilliant.
And I'm very happy with the quality of them.
Brilliant. Okay. And if people want to know more about you, where can we find you online?
It's at www.battlemats.co.uk.
That's brilliant. Thank you.
All right. Thank you very much.
Good to see you from Great Escape Games. Hi,
hello.
How you doing?
Yeah, very good.
Good day?
Yeah, it's been really busy. It's manic and I haven't had lunch yet.
Hang on a second, we're what was it, 3 o'clock in the afternoon or something like that?
Is it 3 o'clock?
Or something like that. It may
lost
be
track
later.
of time.
Oh, right. So, loads of new releases for Great Escape.
Yeah, there's something like 24, 25 releases for the Curse of Dead Man's Hand, which is the fourth expansion for Dead Man's Hand. That's all gone really well. We've also got a couple of releases for the Chicago Way today, and Sword and Spear Fantasy, which has been extremely good today. Sold tons of Sword and Spear Fantasy.
Brilliant. Okay, so Curse of Dead Man's Hand, that when you say it's the fourth expansion, can you kind of explain just a little bit more what it's about?
Yeah. Well, the Curse of Dead Man's Hand introduces a character called the Baron, who's made his way up from a place we don't know where. There's a bit of mythology about him. Is he from Haiti? Is he from Europe? Has he been in Louisiana for all these years? And he's come up through to Dead Man's Hand, and he just wants to wreck. It seems he wants to wreck the place, to destroy the place. We don't know his true motive. But his gang actually raises the dead and takes control of them. That is. Personally, I think he poisons people, but other people think he raises the dead.
Right.
And whatever, he's a blight on Dead Man's Hand, and everybody's trying to gather together to stop him. There's even we've introduced a couple of, if you like, new normal gangs. So we've got Mountain Men, and we've got a gang we call the Seven. And we've introduced them, but there's a further sort of fantasy gang called the Malevolent Seven, which are undead skeleton gunfighters, and they seemingly are hunting the Baron. They're immortal enemies of the Baron, and they'll kill anybody that gets in their way. We've also introduced a load of new buildings from Foreground. I think it's 7 new buildings from Foreground, which are all derelict, cursed, wrecked buildings. There's some other accessory bits from Foreground. We've also got a load of monsters and beasties that go along with it. So we've got the Storm Crow, which is a giant haggard crow that draws on the legend of the Thunderbird, the North American Thunderbird. We've got Wendigo, which again draw on those Native American legends. Dreadwolves, Buffalo Man, all these gribbly, evil, monstrous sorts of characters, just to introduce that sort of fantasy new element into Dead Man's Hand. Just for a bit of fun, and it's great, and it's been really fun, really well received, and we sold tons of them.
And that's been like a big bang release, everyth's out?
It's a big bang release with a lot of it out. It's not everything. We've already got, there are a couple of, I think, 6 releases for May, smaller releases, that'll be coming out, a couple of fun ones. So we got cursed characters, where we've taken characters like Wild Bill and turned them into zombies. And we've got rotten horses and rotten cattle coming. So you've got a putrefied dead horse, and then a standing dead zombie horse. Just extra scenery opportunities for you. So a couple of small little clamshell pack releases, which will be fun. That's all in May. And then later on in the year, there are a couple of extra gangs for the Curse of Dead Man's Hand as well. Which we'll talk about at another time, because they're not all finalised. They're just in the one of them's in the sculpting stage, one of them's in the design stage, so we haven't finalised all the details for them yet.
Brilliant. And how's other things going? As I say, you said Sword and Spear Fantasy.
Yeah, Sword and Spear Fantasy, to be fair, has been long awaited. And it was hit with a couple of delays, mostly which were my fault. But we've got that all sorted, put together, and we've got it out. It's actually the official release day today. So all those lucky people that pre-ordered it already have it. They probably got it yesterday or this morning. But it's available here for everybody today, and it'll be available for stores to order through their distributors. It should be available from next week, from early next week, if not already.
Brilliant. And how's everything else going as far as things like, Iron Cross and everything? How's that
we're really excited about Iron Cross, because we've got...
You're working on new supplement for that, haven't you?
The Desert War, the Mediterranean one, will be out this year. But we actually, before that, we have a really, I'm super excited about a release of miniatures that we've got. They're out end of May, start of June. I'm not allowed, Mark from Great Escape Games has explicitly told me I'm not allowed to talk about them. I think I've told you already what they are. I may have.
I'm trying to remember and currently drawing a blank. So,
I may not have.
So at this point in time, I will not get you into trouble and push you any further.
No, absolutely. I mean, I'll tell you off the record what they are. Of course, we've got it's a.
So that means I now have to edit that bit out, of the recording, right? Okay. Well, good stuff. Well, as I say, glad to hear everything's going well. We look forward to getting you back on the show.
Yes.
To talk about everything when you can officially tell us about everything.
Yes.
So
we're scheduled to do something
we are.
very, very soon, aren't we?
We are.
Yeah.
So yes, we shall catch up with you soon. Well, it's the middle of the afternoon, so we've finally managed to claw our way through the crowds around the Baccus stand. Hello, Peter. How are you doing?
Hello, Neil. I'm fine, thank you. Exhausted, but fine.
How's it been for you today?
Very, very busy. Very, very busy.
Mind you, having said that, I think very busy kind of describes what you've been doing. Because I mean, the last weeks, months, you've been loads and loads of releases. I mean, new rule sets and everything.
Yeah, well, we've decided to catch up on a few projects and we've managed to get them all out pretty much at once.
Yeah.
So, the new rule set, we've got our wonderful French-Indian Wars and American War of Independence set out.
Yeah.
That's gone very, very well. And we've managed to get some new army packs and some new figures to go with all of those.
Yeah.
So people have appreciated having the package and they have invested very heavily in that.
Cool.
On another front, we've just released some Turks for the Great War.
Oh, okay.
Now that's the start of the Mesopotamian campaign,
which is something you've been on about for a while, isn't it?
It is, yeah. And
is that your favourite bit of World War One?
Well, it's much more interesting to me than Western Front. Western Front is very. People stereotypically describe it as boring because it's all trench warfare. There's a lot more to it than that. But Mesopotamia gives you a lot more troop types, a lot more open fields, and it's got Lawrence of Arabia, so you can't lose.
Yeah.
So we've got the start of that. We've already got the Anzacs sculpted or partially through the moulding process, so they'll be coming on very, very soon.
Yep.
And if there's any Kiwis listening, we are doing separate Australians and New Zealanders because they are different, and we do know that. And we just changing period again. We've just released the first of the resculpted English Civil War figures.
Oh, wow. Oh, yes, you've been just showing those off to us, haven't you?
Yeah, and I've been promising people something special, and I think we've delivered. I really do. There are quality of the sculpting that's been done for us, the detail in it, the attention to detail is as good as you're going to get in figures 4 or 5 times the size.
Yeah.
And if you don't believe me, come along to the stand and have a look. These are absolutely outstanding sculpts.
Yeah, so I mean, Peter was regarding us with an English Civil War pike block with supporting musketeers, which is it just looks fantastic. What's that? 200mm frontage?
It's a 200 by 100 frontage to depth, 200 by 100. And it looks like a unit.
It does, doesn't it?
It's not a group of men taking a flag for a walk.
Okay, Dave, you lose the bet. And where are we? Less than 3 minutes in, and we got the quote. Excellent stuff. I mean, obviously, everything else seems to be jogging along nicely. We've seen. We've recently seen Fallschirmjäger for World War II, haven't we? And I mean, I suppose the question that everybody's going to ask: how are the armoured vehicles coming?
They're coming very well. We have been concentrating mainly on getting the infantry out because we know we can do that successfully and within a reasonable time frame. We've just about finished the last of that. We've got a few more Fallschirmjäger and some bits and pieces to do, but that part of the project's finished. And now we're turning entirely over to looking at vehicles and armour.
Yeah.
We've got fingers crossed, next week we'll be putting in a master mould, which will have what we hope is the first of the production runs.
Right.
But we're only testing the water with a couple of vehicles and a couple of artillery pieces, but we think this should do the business. We're using a process which hasn't been used in this scale before, or indeed much in the hobby.
Okay.
So we're working with materials, we're working with moulds that haven't been done before. So it's a certain degree of trial and error, but we're ironing out the difficulties. And the end result when it comes out will again be quite awesome. The quality and the attention to detail which I have on these models will be as good as anything you can get in the market, and again, even in larger scales.
Yeah.
But we won't release anything until it satisfies our standards.
Yeah.
So we won't release second-rate material.
And I suppose finally, how's things going for Joy of Six?
Oh, phenomenally well. We've already booked up solid in terms of games.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sorry, if anyone wants to put in a game and they're listening to this, we are booked up solid. I'm having to turn people away and put them on reserve lists.
Oh, right, okay.
So, with 3 months to go to the show, that is quite a result for us. To the point whereby we're actually thinking of moving to bigger premises for the Joy of 6 2018 to accommodate this.
Okay.
So every year the show is getting bigger.
Yeah.
And I'd say it's actually getting better. And if any of you out there have never been to a Joy of 6 and you think it have nothing to interest you, get yourself along. 6 Mil Wargaming has got huge amounts to show off, and this is a great place to see it being done.
It is. I mean, you'll see things that you wouldn't believe that would be done in 6 mil, and done really well. It's been good. Brilliant. Well, so anything else you can tease us with what you're what you'll do for release later this year, Peter?
Well, we've got more English Civil War and 30 Years War. This is the big difference. We've got the English Civil War.
Right.
We're expanding the range to cover the 30 Years War. I'm being bullied into trying to produce a 30 Years War supplement for the English Civil War rules, which I may do given time.
Yeah.
We have a 7 Years War set of rules to come out. And we've got more releases in the Great War enters into the Mesopotamian campaign.
Yeah.
That doesn't sound much to what we've had to add to what I've already said, but believe me, there's a lot of material to come. And of course, should things go well, the start of our World War II vehicles and artillery.
And obviously that's huge.
It is. You've seen the proof of concept vehicle we have on the stand, and it is a beautiful little model. Yeah. So once we start producing that in terms of manufacturing quantities, I think people are very, very happy with them.
Brilliant. Well, Peter, always good to speak. Thanks for your time.
You're welcome.
And hopefully we'll get you back on the show to have a chat in depth.
I would love to take the opportunity.
Brilliant.
Yeah. Thank you very much, Neil.
Thank you. To catch up with, it's getting to that time of day when everybody's looking around for somewhere to sit, and I managed to sit down to next door to Warwick Kinrade with this almighty desert battle that we have out before us. So, a Battlegroup at Tobruk then, mate.
Yeah. The new book.
It's finally arrived.
It's finally arrived. The desert has been a long time coming, but yeah, we finally got there. Officially out today. It's been pre-orders have been available for a while, but really happy with it. Feedback seems to be really positive so far. I think people have been waiting to play the desert for a while.
Yes. Yeah. Well, we were chatting to Will earlier in the day, and I remember when Will first started PSC, and it was like, well, my favourite's the Desert War, but it's going to be a while before we get there. Well, here we are. We finally made it.
Yeah, 6 years later, we finally got to the desert in 1941. And the first of our desert, but there is a plan to do a second desert, but that will be 42, 43, so El Alamein, Operation Torch, and the end in Tunisia will be the logical follow-on to this book.
Yes. But at least in this one you get to play the Italians.
Yes, you do. Well, you get to play the Italians that one, but yeah, the Italians are in there. There's both lists, the Ariete Division and Italian Infantry Division for the particularly hardcore gamer. But they're all right. At this stage in the war, they're all right. People obviously knock the Italians, but I think it's a little hard done by, and they do all right. I think mostly the Germans blamed them for all their defeats, and the British trumpeted all their victories over them.
Yes.
They lost the PR war in the desert, the Italians.
Yeah, you can say that. Yeah. So as you say, it's been a long time coming. I mean, how was the whole design process?
Well, it's slow, because this was a project that probably got started about 3 years ago and then stopped, and then restarted and then stopped. So it's had a long gestation period, but there's, probably all the better for that, because you get to revise what you first thought and you get to go over things multiple times. So, I think the army lists are really solid. All the play testing, was good. We had some cracking games. All the tweaks to the main rules to make it feel like the desert have really added something to the game. So the dust cloud rules and the wear and tear on the vehicles and stuff like that don't change the core rules in any way. Just give it a little tweak and make it feel that you're not playing the same World War II game as you were when you were playing in Normandy or when you were playing on the Eastern Front.
Yeah.
The desert environment has a unique effect on the fighting. The fact that more stuff's going to break down, more stuff's vulnerable to breaking down, and one of the big changes is that I've removed the minimum requirements and infantry in the game, so you can, in smaller games, you can just play with tanks. Now that is the kind of World War II game in that I hated, but now in the desert it feels right, to be honest. I don't think they're the most effective battle groups you could possibly pick if you just limited yourself to tanks.
Yeah.
I think you'll still find an all-arms battle group would be more effective for you on the battlefield, infantry and artillery and stuff and sport. But it seemed to me that if in any of the supplements we were going to do that and allow just tank combat, then the desert would be the place to do it.
Yes.
Yeah. And we played some games on it and it felt great. It was like, you know what? This is the kind of World War II game I had really wanted to avoid, but now we're doing it. It feels all right here. We played, a game that was 8 cruisers versus 6 Panzer IIIs and Panzer IIs and stuff, and it was, it was a good game. As the Germans have got panned, but it was a good game.
Cool. So, obviously, it seems that Battlegroup, obviously, there's always another campaign to cover. Always another rules tribunal to be on.
Yeah.
So, okay, you've got Tobruk coming in. You've got Tobruk finally out for published. What are you working on next?
The first priority is going to be getting the Overlord reprinted. So when we get Overlord reprinted, we'll all those lists will be available and stuff to people again. And then I want to do a book for Operation Market Garden, which for me seems to be the obvious missing piece of the jigsaw for northwestern Europe that we've never covered. And I think
I should look forward to that one. That's one thing I've been looking forward to.
I think when we've done Market Garden and done that with some thoroughness and a good job on that, I think we might be done in northwestern Europe there.
Yeah.
You probably should never say never, should you really? But and beyond that, then into 2018, then we're not sure. The Pacific is high on my list to do. Seems like an obvious big theatre that we've never gone anywhere near. Mm-hmm. I know it's not. Well, in this country, it's not a big popular World War II theatre. It's not, but
that is strange, isn't it? It's always almost like the forgotten theatre in this part of the world, isn't it?
Yeah, the forgotten war for the forgotten army. But as we were discussing last night in the pub, I'm slightly of the opinion that you have to build it in order for people to come. And so, just because people don't play it doesn't mean that they won't play it if you give them the stuff to do it with. So part of the reason to do it is to say, you know what? You could have really good World War II games playing this, and you get to finally deal with the Japanese, and that's just an interesting, completely different take on the war, a different feeling, again a completely different feeling army. And I think Battlegroup could deal with the Japanese because of the break rating system in a really interesting way that would make them feel very different and not like any other army that any other World War II game really deals with. The Japanese would feel, an outnumbered, outgunned Japanese army that is still really hard to break.
Oh yeah,
would feel like a very different army with no tanks effectively, or no tanks worthy of the name, kind of would feel very different. But the battle rating system would allow you to balance those forces up. Even when the American Marines are coming ashore and they've got everything in massive numbers. Artillery support, aeroplanes, everything you could possibly want to fight a war. But the battle rating system would allow you to say, Japanese platoon well dug in and a few well hidden bunkers could cause all sorts of, and still get a balanced game. And that, I think, is really the beauty of the game system, is that you won't end up with the kind of standard point system game where it's just like, the Japanese either not standing a chance or somehow unrealistically having more men than the Americans.
Yeah.
Which, patently they didn't. So, so the Pacific I look forward to doing, but whether we do that next year or further down the line, I'm not sure. Whether it's our floating release schedule. Basically, we can't make up our minds.
Good stuff, mate. Thanks for your time.
Cheers.
All
Thanks,
good to
Neil.
chat.
Bye.
Catching up again with Joseph McCullough from Osprey Games.
Hello.
Hello. I think we caught up with each other. It's about this time last year, wasn't it?
Yeah, I think so.
yeah. So, how's the year been for Osprey? You've been just a tad busy, haven't you?
Yeah, it's been amazing. I mean, not only in wargaming, but really even more in board gaming. We put out Colditz and put out a few other things. And that's been the real kind of new thing, the learning curve, to go into shows we'd never been before. And it's really been an eye-opener. But it's also nice doing both and how the two interact. So like with Frostgrave, we're about to release a card set. And I don't know if that ever would have come about if we didn't also do kind of board and card games. And have that kind of cross-pollination of games. So it's been a really fun place to work and hear the different ideas shooting around. So.
Of course, for yourself, I mean, what a phenomenal success Frostgrave has been.
It has changed my life. Not quite in the J.K. Rowling, I don't have to work anymore ever kind of way, but in just now I'm slowly becoming more of a writer, and that's not quite something I ever really expected to happen. But it's fun and I'm enjoying it and it's great. And
and of course. We're looking to move locale soon, aren't we? Because we've got Ghost Archipelago coming.
Yeah, we're heading south, heading down to the Isles. Fantasy pirates. It seems kind of obvious, but how else can we have fun with this? Hey, pirates!
Yeah.
But at the same time, it is the rules are cross compatible, but they're not the same. I didn't want to just do a new setting for Frostgrave. I wanted to give the players a new experience in gaming. So you're no longer led by wizards. You got these kind of low-level superheroes, and there's a slightly different system to how they use their powers, and just to give a bit more tactical play and more choices, for the players. So hopefully they'll like it. Mm-hmm. If not, they can use all the monsters from Frostgrave. So.
Yeah, and I mean, obviously there's been a phenomenal number of rule books keep coming out from Osprey.
Yep.
What have we had since in the last year? We've had things like we've had.
Scrappers has just come out.
Oh, Scrappers, of course, that's the new thing, isn't it?
Yeah, we had Rogue Stars, which has done really well. Dragon Rampant, which is the fantasy line Rampant.
Chosen Men.
And the Broken Legions.
Yeah, so
yeah, I mean the OWG series especially. I mean it just slowly continues to do really well and slowly grows. Each one seems to do a little bit better than the one before it, just because I think people are getting into the idea behind it. There's so many good rule sets out there that deserve a nice treatment.
So can you tell us a bit more about Scrappers?
I'm probably not the best man to do that, in all honesty. I mean, in terms of mechanics, anyway.
I just want to know a bit more about the game. I mean,
it's in the same vein as Frostgrave in that, we're talking a warband level game.
Right.
So essentially, it's post-apocalyptic, but it's future post-apocalyptic. So 150 years from now, the world goes to hell. But that means you've got robots, you've got kind of synthetic human constructs, but you've also got Mad Max and you know, the Badlands. So, but it's a very campaign-focused game. So you assemble your little warband, and they go on these missions, and they grow, and they get experience, and they buy new men and new equipment. So, and you know, I think that's obviously something that's quite popular these days.
Well, it's that kind of sweet spot of game, isn't it? Yeah.
It is. I mean, I think there's a lot of people that either did a lot of role playing in college, or you know, come from a time in wargaming when it was a much more do-it-yourself hobby.
Yeah.
And people are really looking to find that again, to find that personal creativity to put into it, and then I think games like that make it a little easier than kind of your big army games.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, and of course, when you come out with things like figures and stuff, you're teasing the 3-ups with new dwarves.
Yep, we got some new plastic dwarves, so that's the first of a fantasy range that has no name yet, but will hopefully soon. So the dwarves are first. We've also got goblins and elves coming soon after, and hopefully that'll just be the first of many. But
did all the sprues go?
I think we got a couple left, but it's a close run thing.
Oh, yeah. And what's happening as far as the board game front? I mean, obviously, big release was Escape from Colditz.
Yeah, we're still partially recovering from that.
Oh, right, okay.
That was kind of the biggest thing we've ever done as a games company. You know, it's by far the most complex and the most media kind of grabbing. You know, it got onto the BBC and things like that.
It's a lovely release, lovely game.
Yeah. But yeah, so the challenge is now to look for the next thing there's nothing quite like that, but just something that we can continue to be on that level. But we got some good new games coming. There's one called Lost Expedition coming in the next couple of months, which is a card game where you kind of lay out your path through the Amazon and try to survive. So,
that sounds cool.
And usually you don't. That's what I've found anyway. At least usually I don't, because I have not done well. But it's a great little game. So
cool. Well, Joe, thanks a lot for your time.
No problem. It's good
pleasure
to see you
as
again.
Always.
Yep.
And hopefully we'll catch up with you soon.
Yep. Hopefully
Cheers.
we'll talk before next year.
Hello, welcome to another series of the Salute Advertising for Future Shows.
Yes.
And here we are with Craig Cartmel from the Ministry of Gentlemenry Warfare.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon, sir. How are you?
Overwhelmed, mostly.
If people are aware, the Ministry of Gentlemenry Warfare are the people behind things like In Her Majesty's Name, Blood Eagle, Dice Show, and of course the new Gothic. How's your salute been, sir?
Very, very busy. We've been running participation games all day. Ainsley Castings have run out of the books.
Oh,
all of our books they've got over there, all sold out.
What, of everything?
Of everything.
Oh, good day then.
Osprey haven't sold out, but there again they got lots for the original books.
Yeah.
And we've got our friend Mark's board game here, based on Her Majesty's Name. He's trying to find a publisher at the moment.
Oh, okay.
He's been playtesting about 3 or 4 years. I got a copy at home. We've been playing it with friends and family.
Down for the raffle. You got your name down for the raffle yet, Neil?
You get a pre-order copy.
Oh, wow.
I told
Okay.
him.
Yeah.
That's got less than my chances.
You have indeed.
Diluted the pool.
People think they're signing the raffle for the cake.
Yeah, I did.
One of our fans came and brought us a cake.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
There's a thing about cake. If you haven't heard the podcast.
Yeah, I have, yes. You're not winning the cake.
I'm not winning the cake?
No.
Oh,
Quite safe.
okay.
It's Whittaker's. The cake's not good.
Yeah, if he's in Canada, you'll be right.
Yeah. So we've been having people from 8 years old to 68 playing today. Most learn the game in like 2 turns. And then just need an occasional, by the way, Craig, does this do this? Works perfectly.
So you got 2 games, both games you've been playing is Gothic today, yeah?
Gothic today, yes.
Yeah. So we've had Van Helsing against
Frankenstein.
And then Vampires and Werewolves.
Vampires and Werewolves and Highgate Cemetery.
Well, because you've got to, yeah.
Because you have to, yes.
Indeed.
Yes. Abraham Van Helsing has blown himself up twice, carrying bombs to the evil device created by Frankenstein. And of course, Frankenstein's leftovers and his creature, they're called leftovers because they're made from the bits he didn't put in the creature.
Yeah, right.
They've been causing mayhem. Yeah. So yeah, it's been fun.
Cool. Right, so you sold out of current rules. Obviously, say Gothic has only just come out, hasn't it?
Yes.
Yes. I mean, I don't want to preempt too much because you're coming on the show in about a month's time, aren't you? And we're going to have a real in-depth about how you guys all got started, and also hopefully you're going to tease us with what's coming up in the future. But can you give us a pre-interview teaser?
The next supplement will probably be for Blood Eagle.
Right.
Yeah. I'll tell you more in a month or two.
Okay.
Because we're still agreeing which direction we want to go with it.
Yeah.
Because there's so much you can do with Blood Eagle. A lot of people are already using it heavily for fantasy. I run Lord of the Rings with it.
Oh, right, yes.
Quite regularly.
Yeah.
And I also run generic fantasy with it, as well as running the full Norse experience as such.
Yes.
But we're also looking at it's very easy to tinker with it to move it forwards a couple of hundred years. So to cover everything from 1066 to 1299.
Yeah.
First and second two Crusades, the Reconquista, Robin Hood. I mean, there's already a Robin Hood and Sheriff of Nottingham lists on North Star's website for Blood Eagle.
Right.
Because he asked for them, because he has some figures. So,
I say you got some figures, yeah.
We only have to add a couple of weapons like maces and two-handed swords and reinforced mail.
Yeah.
And we can cover that whole period with the same rule set.
Cool.
But of course, the big thing is, are we going to cover Islam? Because if we're going to do First and Second Crusades, we'll have to have a whole new set of powers and skills for the Islamic warriors who had a different style of fighting. Them versus Varangian Guard, that sounds like fun.
Superb, I say, especially once you go off towards Byzantium and all that.
Oh, yes. And also Normans at that point are conquering most of the Med.
Well, yes.
Sicily, that's mine. My name's Rollo. Hand over.
Indeed. All right, so yes, not preempting our interview too much, but lots in the
pipeline. Yes.
Lots in the pipeline. Good stuff. Well, it's been nice to chat. We're looking forward to chatting to you in a month or so.
Yep.
So thank you, and glad to it's been good, and we look forward to chatting to you soon.
Yes, that village, by the way, was caused by you.
That was caused by us?
I built that in a day.
Yes.
I listened to 5 Meeples and Miniatures podcasts during the day and built the whole village.
Well, I think you deserve more than one prize for that.
Well, it's only cardboard. I mean.
No, it wasn't so much that as listening to 5... It wasn't so much that as listening to 5 podcasts, I think. I appreciate it, Craig. We look forward to speaking to you soon, mate. Thank you. We're still at the Ministry of Gentlemenry Warfare. We're with Mark Beng, who has designed a board game.
Yes, based on Craig's In Her Majesty's Name.
Mm-hmm.
So it's Victorian science fiction sort of theme.
Mm-hmm.
But we've taken the companies that he's used in the skirmish game and turned it into a board game. The map, which you can see on Craig's website, is a little snapshot of it. Is the whole world, because what we've taken is that it replicates the great game.
Right.
So although the players are companies and have got their individual national identities, the missions are going to be anywhere in the world.
Yeah.
The players are trying to crack the missions themselves, but all players can meddle and interfere in the great tradition of the great game. So if you've got somebody like Lord Kerr having an easy time of it, taking out a few industrialists on a minor mission, then Germany and Russia could intervene and equip them with some nice steam tanks and some arc rifles, and Lord Kerr finds he's having a much tougher time of it.
Oh, right, okay.
So one of the underpinning themes of the game basically is that everybody can be involved all the time. You haven't got downtime during your turn to everybody else's turn. You can decide to intervene, but if you intervene too much, you'll make enemies from the other players, and they'll take it back out on you. But also you'll be using up all of your own resources, so when it comes to you solving a mission, you've got nothing left because you've been meddling with everybody else.
Yeah.
The missions build nice little stories around themselves. We've actually, during one game, had the mission was in Vienna, the adversary was Vlad Tepes, and the mission was protect the governor's daughters. And that's one of the things we like with designing the game, is that it's storytelling.
Yes.
It tells its own, it's not just a series of mathematical formula which some Euro games are. This is a storytelling game almost in itself. So the players are playing the companies, they have the missions, but the other shtick that we put in there is that Agnaton, who is one of the major adversaries from Craig's rulebook, is the invisible player. It's the board game, it's run by a mechanism.
Right, okay.
So if the players are a little bit too vigorous, beating the hell out of each other, Agnaton will win the game on his own.
Right.
And there's a climactic moment when the sixth regalia that pops out in the game, which is again a theme from Craig's skirmish games. When that sixth one comes out, Agnaton reveals himself and he moves from Cairo to London. And that means basically you've got 5 turns to defeat him.
Oh, right, okay.
So if he collects the regalia, he wins. If he gets to London, he wins. All the players lose.
Yeah.
So if they're too enthusiastic about stopping each other, then the bad guy wins.
Fine.
But if they do defeat the bad guy, then it comes to the fame points that they've collected during the course of the game.
Yeah.
So there's multiple roads to victory. Craig, when we last played with all the family, because it's a 2 to 6 player game, or sort of 3 to 7, because Agnaton is always that extra player.
Yeah.
When we had a 6 player game with all of the family, he moaned like hell because his whole family picked on him.
Strange that.
He's absolutely convinced that he was going to win, but if you talk to anybody else, we all knew he wouldn't. Yes, you are. So that's it. I'd say we're looking for a publisher. If we don't get a publisher, we're going to go the Kickstarter route and we'll advertise on Craig's website.
Yeah. Okay, so you've been working on this for 3 years or so?
Yeah, it's been out since 2014. It was with a publisher for about a year. What was interesting is the feedback from them was that everybody in the office was taking it home to play it at the weekend. But there was a decision at the end not to go with producing it. They gave us good feedback. There were a few too many components, so we trimmed off some of the puppy fat to produce this version. We tried out a few new things, so we're printing the board game map is actually on vinyl. So everybody seems very encouraged by the idea of a beer-proof playing surface.
That's got to be good.
Yeah. So we tried that out, but in the end of the day, what you're seeing there is a handmade prototype, and it will look the same, but the materials will be different for the final product. But since 2014, it's been in gestation. So. Okay.
Brilliant. Well, Mark, thank you for taking us a quick look in the manager's name. Was it The Rise of
Agnaton?
I'm glad you said that because I was struggling. Okay. Really hope you find a publisher for it. It looks really interesting.
Okay. Thanks very much.
Cheers.
Bye bye.
We must finally catch up, as in, Salute is one of these shows where you keep wandering around, and sometimes, even when somebody says, oh yeah, we're in this particular place, you can wander past the place 3 or 4 times and not found them. I finally found the Drowned Earth Miniatures game. And James, hello sir.
Hello, how are you?
Oh wow, how are you doing? You alright?
Good, yeah, fine, tired.
How's your show been?
It's been great, it's been fantastic. We have been run off our feet, we've all lost our voices, so I don't want to think about how many demos we've given. The T-Rex killed 40 people and got killed 3 times.
Sorry. For our podcast listeners, James was just looking at a scoreboard that we have in the corner of the display area.
Yeah, so we've been running demos on 2x2 tables just to give people a flavour of the game, a couple of turns to understand the mechanics, and in the central table, anyone who wants to can come along and try and kill a T-Rex, but most likely get eaten.
All right. So, for anybody who hasn't got a clue what the Drowned Earth is all about, can you please give us the elevator pitch?
Okay, the elevator pitch, which I should have well rehearsed by now, actually. So it's a skirmish level miniatures game for 2 players. It's played on a 3x3 board, and it's set in the world of Ulaya, the Drowned Earth, which is a tropical world full of ruins from a long lost society of advanced human beings in actual fact.
Right.
However, it's quite obvious to anyone looking around the world that this civilization lived at a time where the sea levels were lower, so you've got lakes with buildings poking out of them. You can see when you go out onto the sea, you can see there are ruins under the sea level.
Yeah.
But also amidst the ruins that you can access, there's a lot of remnants of technology. And one of the main motivating factors in the world is that it's a world which is rebuilding, it's recovering from this great cataclysm that happened more than 300, but who knows how many more, not as much as 1,000 years ago.
Yeah.
And nobody knows quite how long ago it was. A lot of this technology simply doesn't work. A lot of it can be used in part, but people are rebuilding and trying to rediscover how all of this stuff works.
Right.
You know? So they're living in societies where they might have a windmill which powers a light bulb, you know, but they find a power generator out in the ruins which sort of can light up a whole city. And so there's this kind of negotiation between people who are trying to rediscover the secrets and the knowledge and the technology of the past for the benefit of all, and the people who are trying to monopolise this technology and information in order to control everyone else.
Yeah. Now, as far as the miniatures are concerned, we've been wandering around admiring the miniatures. A bit different from your standard, from a lot of what we've seen before, which I think is possibly part of the appeal. Lovely set of miniatures.
Thank you.
And not just humans, loads of different alien races.
That's right. So the ancient and long-lost civilization were big on genetic experimentation. Right. And so for various different reasons, whether it's economic reasons or entertainment or fashion, they were splicing human DNA with animal DNA and creating all these sort of strange hybrid species. As you might expect, when a big cataclysm happens, some of these species actually outperform the humans when it comes to living in this very hostile post-apocalyptic environment. And now, hundreds of years later, many of these types of creatures have actually established significant populations, and humans are just one amongst many minorities in the world.
Now, you recently launched on Kickstarter, didn't you?
That's right, yeah.
And I think it's fair to say doing rather well?
Yes, absolutely. Certainly, I've been bowled over by the response, really.
I mean, you funded in, what, an hour or so?
We funded in just under an hour. We were funded 300% at the end of day one.
Superb.
Yeah.
Okay, so how long is the Kickstarter left to run?
Now we have 25 days.
Okay, so is the date and time of its finishing engraved on your heart?
Absolutely, yes.
So when is that?
That is the 16th of May.
Right.
And it's actually very easy to get to the Kickstarter. If people just type kickstarter.thedrowned.earth.com, that'll take them straight through.
Brilliant. I'm assuming then we've got currently burning 3 stretch goals and...
we are down to our last stretch goal.
Oh, wow.
But it isn't our last stretch goal.
Yes.
It's the last one which I put up on the Kickstarter, and I've been furiously, as it started to go really well, I've been furiously working to find other awesome things for people to look at.
It always seems to be the way. It always seems to be the way with Kickstarters that perform well. In the fact that we've got tons of tons of stretch goals and everything's planned out, and then within like 48 hours, it's like, oh my word,
Yeah.
What are we going to do?
You know what? It's a fantastic problem to have.
Yes. Okay, so once the obviously Kickstarter going really well.
Yep.
When is your planned publication date?
Well, I've advertised a year, so it'll be actually 11 months. So I said April 2018.
Okay.
We'll see how we can do with that. I've gone to quite a lot of effort to research production pipelines and things like that before the Kickstarter. So we've got the first 2 factions are actually cast already. That's why you can look at them now.
Yeah.
And these are the actual production models that you're looking at.
Really awesome. And they're 28 mil. Well, heroic 28
They're
mil.
35 really.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So a little bit bigger than most games. It seems to be the norm, actually. Everything's creeping up to 35.
Yes.
Nice big canvas for you to paint on. I've had fantastic feedback from people that I've sent them out to that, number one, they go together very easily, and number two, they paint very nicely and very easily.
And metals as well, yeah?
They're metal, yeah. They're metal.
I
know they look like resin because they're crisp, but the guy I use is a genius. That's all I'll say. I worship the ground he walks on.
Brilliant. So all being well, so obviously once delivery, so we may be looking for a release for sort of, if all ducks go into a row, release potentially for sort of next year then?
Well, I've built in a little bit of contingency when it comes to things going wrong, as they inevitably will. I hope I've built in enough contingency that I won't deliver late, but who knows, we might get lucky and be able to deliver early. That would be the ideal situation for me.
Brilliant. Now, James, I'm bowled over by the quality of the miniatures.
Thank you.
It looks really cool. All the very best with the Kickstarter.
Thank you very much.
And everything afterwards.
Great, I appreciate it. Thank you.
Appreciate your time. Thank you.
And there you have it. Just a small selection of people that were at Salute this year. It seems strange that, it seemed like, I was head down and go at Salute all day, and then you end up in a situation where you've only got less than 2 hours worth of interviews at the end of it. And there were so many people who I just didn't get to speak to. But I hope you enjoyed listening to the people that we did. Now, this is the end of, I suppose, part one of our coverage of Salute, as this is, that was all the live interviews. What we've actually decided to do is to do another show where we kind of do a bit more of a general chat and a bit of a debrief about Salute. And so that's going to come up in a couple of days. And that's just going to be the whole gang getting together and then quizzing us about Salute and us chatting about a couple of things, some things we've seen on the internet since and what have you. So that's it for the live coverage of Salute. So another show in a couple of days. But I hope you enjoyed listening to these last couple of hours of interviews, and I hope you found them useful and entertaining. So, thank you very much for listening. Thank you especially to everybody who came up to say hi. It was lovely to speak to people. It was lovely to catch up with some people I haven't seen for a couple of years. That was really good. Thank you also to those people who did mention online since that, I would have said hello, but you were in the middle of an interview, so I decided not to. Thank you. I appreciate that. Maybe we'll do something different next year. But, one and all, thank you so much for listening to the show. Take care of yourselves. Happy gaming. And we'll speak to you in a couple of days' time. Thank you for listening to the Meeples and Miniatures podcast. If you've enjoyed the show, why not share it with others by leaving us a review on iTunes? And if you have any comments or questions, you can always email the show. The address is info@meeplesandminiatures.co.uk. And you can also visit our webpage, where you'll find a complete episode archive, all the View from the Veranda podcasts, rules reviews, and our blog of hobby items and news, which is updated several times a week. This is also where you'll find the links to our presence on social media, and here you can follow us on Twitter or join our Facebook group. And finally, here you can also find details should you wish to support us by making a donation to the podcast. All this on the Meeples and Miniatures website, www.meeplesandminiatures.co.uk. The Meeples and Miniatures podcast is licensed under a Creative Commons Attribution, Non-Commercial, No Derivatives 3.0 Unported license. Thanks again for listening, and we'll see you in a couple of weeks.